Welcome back to Blind Grilling. My name is Chris Peltz, and today we're going to be answering a question that came to us about the Flame Boss 400, and that is how exactly to connect it to the grill. In fact, we're going to show you just how easy this actually is. As you can tell, we've got the big green egg fired up. We've got the fire started, and one of the first things that you do when you're getting ready to start your fire and hook up your Flame Boss is you open up your bottom vent. This is where your Flame Boss is going to connect, but this is where your airflow is going to come from. And we open up our top vent as well to get everything opened up and make sure all the air is going to be able to flow exactly the way we want it to. Now, there's a couple of debates out there about whether or not you let it come up to temperature and then connect the Flame Boss, or if you connect it and have it bring it up to temperature. Listen, we're talking about for the blind and visually impaired, so what we're doing is we're going to connect it and let it bring it up to temperature. The other debate that people have, and really this is all personal preference, and that is whether or not, if you're doing an indirect cook, if you go ahead and put the plate setter in, or if you bring it up to temperature and then put the plate setter in. I do it both ways. It really just depends. For purposes of this video today though, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the plate setter in, and just so you know, it does take longer to bring it to temperature when you do it this way, as opposed to bringing it to temp and then putting the plate setter and grate that you're going to be cooking on in the egg. Not a lot of difference, but there is a little bit more time that it takes doing it this way. But that's how we're going to do it today. So, let me grab, I've got our plate setter and our grate. Set that right in there. The fire with the Fogo charcoal, the first ingredient, is lit. It is going very well. So we're going to close our egg. Again, we got the bottom vent open, we got our top vent open, and that means now it's time to connect our Flame Boss. So, let's just kind of feel here. So what I've got, take these gloves off. First of all, if you remember in the unboxing, there were 3 square plates that were a little bit different sizes. Now this is the extra large egg. The biggest plate is for the extra large, and it can be used for the large as well. It feels like a square, but it's for the extra large. It's slightly taller than it is wide, so but it's almost squared. It's almost perfect square, but not quite, because if you turn it to its side, it'll fit in the large bottom vent. But keeping it upright, it'll fit in the extra large. And that's what we're going to do. And so on the bottom vent, there's a track that the bottom vent slides from left to right to open. And this little flat metal piece, almost square piece with a square hole in the middle of it, it's got a square hole, which is where our fan is going to connect, goes in the track of the bottom vent. And our Flame Boss itself, basically you've got a large square portion on the back end, and if you feel on the Flame Boss, the bottom is going to have the 3 plug-ins, the holes where you're going to plug in your power, your pit probe, and your meat probe. So that's going to be on the bottom, just to orient the Flame Boss to yourself, for those who can't see. Those probes will be on the bottom. With those probes on the bottom, you're going to feel like a square tube that goes out in one direction with an opening. So kind of like there's like a tunnel, a square tunnel that comes out. And at the very end, which is where your fan, this is your fan, this is what where the air comes and blows into your egg. At the very end of that square tunnel, you're going to feel that there is a lip around that square edge. All the way around, but the top of that square, of that lip, is pushed forward just a little bit, and what that allows you to do is hook that top lip edging around that square onto the inside. You hook it to the inside of that square hole in the metal plate that goes into your bottom vent, and then it just hangs on the outside of that vent. So let's kind of put it together. So what we'll do is we're gonna come down here to the bottom vent, and I'm gonna put and this again, this is for Kamado. We're gonna put this bottom plate in the vent, or the track for our bottom vent. Just pops right in, and we're going to slide it all the way to the left. There's a little catch that'll hold it. Then we're going to take our flame boss, and again, at the end of that square tunnel, there's a lip all the way around that edge, but the top lip is pushed forward a little bit, and that top lip, you're just going to kind of hook it to the inside, hook that top lip inside that square, that opening, and then the flame boss will then just kind of hang on the outside of that metal bracket, just like that. And then what we can do is we can slide that vent to the egg all the way over and against, and kind of overlap that metal plate. That makes sure that any airflow going into the egg is going to be from the flame boss and nothing else, because the flame boss is going to be controlling this completely. We'll go ahead and plug in our power to our first port, and you can do this in a different order. You could go ahead and have everything plugged in and then connect it to the egg, but that's it. That connects it to the egg. Now we're just connecting our pit probe. We're going to plug in our pit probe to the bottom here, and then I'm going to run my pit probe wire up to the top of the egg and down through the top hole that's slid opening from our top vent cap. And then I'm going to open up the egg and reach into the top dome and grab that pit probe, and I'm going to connect it to the back, on the front of the egg, on the top in the dome. There is a thermometer that's built into the egg. That for those who are sighted, they're able to read that thermometer and see what the egg is. Well, I clip that pit probe to the back of that thermometer. And then it's just a matter now of letting the flame boss do the work. You can hear the fan kick on. The fan is starting to feed air, and it'll monitor it with that pit probe. And when it comes to the desired temp, it'll begin to slow down that fan and eventually stop that fan. Once the temperature comes up to, within about 50 degrees of where you want it, you close this top vent just right on top of that cable. That's not going to hurt it, of that pit probe. You'll just slide that top vent completely closed over that cable, and then you'll just let the flame boss control it. Now we'll go to what we do is we would go to our app, and we would set the temp that we want, whether 250, 275, 300, or 350, whatever it is, the temperature you want your egg to be at. We could set it on the app, and the flame boss would take care of everything. So that's how easy it is to hook it up. We've got a cook that we're going to be doing later, so we're going to go get things ready. But I hope this has helped for those who have asked how to hook the flame boss up to your egg. That's it. There is another probe for a jack on the bottom of the flame boss where you can connect a meat probe that you could run into. Open up the lid and just run it right into your meat to keep track of your meat. But other than that, it's connected. It's going to bring our egg up to temp, and we'll be ready to cook. Thanks for checking out the video. Again, if you have more questions about the flame boss or any other grilling questions or accessibility questions, feel free to ask. Be happy to answer those questions. Please subscribe to our channel. Really want to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark so we can have a absolutely fantastic giveaway, which includes a Yeti cooler. And so let's get to that 1,000 subscriber mark so we can load up a Yeti cooler full of goodies for some lucky person of one of our subscribers. So again, hit that subscribe button, leave comments below, and keep up with all of our videos that we'll be putting out coming up in the near future as well. And as always, if you're looking, you ain't cooking.